Hello, class, and welcome to week 7. We have almost reached the end. Hard to believe, but it's moving along super fast. So, if you are on top of your critical assignment, your presentation, that does not worry you. If you are pushing this towards the end, I would encourage you to make haste and make sure that you address that and don't fall too far behind. So this week we have chapters 11 and 12. We're going to talk about fraud and abuse, and we're going to talk about electronic health records in relation to meaningful use. So according to CMS.gov, an electronic health record, or EHR, or electronic medical record, EMR, is an electronic version of a patient's medical history that's maintained by the provider over time. And it may include all the key administrative and clinical data that is relevant to that person's care under a particular provider, including all their demographics, the progress notes, problems, medications, vital signs, past medical history, immunizations, lab data, radiology reports, that sort of thing. It is also, it automates access to information and has the potential to streamline the clinician's workflow. Those are all of the, I guess, the proponents' talking points. It's interesting to talk with physicians. There's so it's a love-hate relationship with electronic medical records for most that I've talked to, anyways. There are pros and cons to any type of system or any record. Um, so just keep that in mind, whether it's paper, whether it is one particular brand of EMR versus another. They all have pros, they all have cons. But this is where we are in our modern healthcare world. Um, in the EHR, it also has the ability to support other care-related activities, either directly or indirectly, through different interfaces, including evidence-based decision support, quality management, and outcomes reporting. So those could be like decision trees, clinical decision trees. They can be any type of quality management that's built into the system, medication reconciliation to prevent errors, that sort of thing, or at least flag it. And then reporting outcomes, which is a big part of MIPS, the Medicare Incentive Payment System, where some of the reimbursement is withheld until the end of the year when certain quality metrics have to be proven in order to receive it. EHRs are the next step in the continued progress of healthcare that can strengthen the relationship between patients and clinicians. And the data and the timeliness and availability of it will enable providers to make better decisions and provide better care. Having come through the era of paper charts into electronic records, I've seen a lot of progress that has been made over the years, and in terms of not only user interface and ease of use for the user, but also access through patient portals for the patient to access information and to communicate with their provider easier. Um, so along with that was meaningful use, which really was the incentive to get more hospitals and more physicians on engaged in the electronic medical record. In other words, get off the paper charts. Don't use paper charts anymore. We want everyone to be on electronic medical records. And a meaningful use was a mechanism to help incentivize that. So there's a couple videos there for you to take a look at. So after watching the videos, discuss the meaningful use and impact electronic records can have on the healthcare industry. Why are they important for patients and healthcare organizations alike? Why haven't all healthcare organizations adopted them? You'll find, I think I posted in your announcement too, that it's about 89% is where we're at. It's pretty high. So there's some holdouts out there where it's just too expensive for some physicians or some physician groups or some other healthcare organizations, but most are on it. How do you see them being used on a systems level rather than simply organizational? And how do you see them evolving over the next decade? So, how does it work if it's is a health system, meaning nationally or even statewide, as opposed to just a particular organization and their medical record, is what those questions are asking. So, in your reflections, you'll have your current chapter reading, the lectures on 11 and 12, and the slides there, the personal experiences that you have, worldview, and any other media resources. Comment on the specific reflection prompts that were provided, and reflect on how they relate to the topic itself and then also society as a whole. Make sure your posts are thoughtful, insightful, 250 to 500 words, and that they add significant substance to the conversation. And make sure that your references are cited and it's done in APA format. Again, we have one more week before your final critical assignment is due. Please take the time to make your presentation professional in terms of its template, its color scheme, and make sure that it's a presentation. You don't want to have a lot of words up on your slide. You don't want to read to your audience. You don't want your audience to be reading your slides as you are talking or giving a presentation. So they should really be succinct bullet points that are going to cover the particular topic of each slide. And then you can have as much of the narrative as you want in the speaker notes section. And actually, that I looked for that. I look to see if you have the details to back up your bullet statements that are actually on your slide. So, word to the wise, please make sure that your speaker notes are full. But do not put all of that in the body of the slide itself. If you have any questions on that, please reach out to me. We're near the end, so stay the course, get that second wind, and see it to the end. I'm looking forward to seeing your posts in the reflections board this week. And with that, I will close from here, and I will see you all soon.